Welcome to another episode of the DNA Pest Control Podcast. How is everybody doing out there? Okay, I hope it's been awesome. And it's so nice to be getting back into the rhythm of things. So I hope everybody kind of enjoyed the last couple episodes thrown out there. If you haven't checked them out, please go back and check them out. So I was reading through a few things, and I actually haven't really decided which episode I want to throw out first and then second. So we'll see what I go with, and then throw them out accordingly. So if you hear this one on the second podcast, you'll probably know if it came out later. If it came out first, well, actually, maybe you guys will never know. Suckers. No, just messing with you. But so I went over this actually, I think it was actually last year. I had an episode about this, and I want to get back to this episode because now with the conversations I'm having with a lot of people out there, a lot of people are emailing, and thank you for emailing in. Thank you for reaching out. Yes, hats are going out. Everybody should be getting them shortly. Usually it depends on when they do pickup and everything like that, but usually it's about a week to 2 weeks before you get it. So, and I know there's actually been a few that have been delayed because I had a ton of stuff going on in my life where we had to kind of stop and put a pause on things because a lot of people don't understand that the podcast is free. I pay for everything. I pay for all of it. And my time, and I do not get really anything in return. So everything is going out to you guys. Everything is getting put into the podcast. There is nothing coming back towards me. So when duty calls, when work calls, some things do have to get put on the back burner, especially when it comes to family, work, and everything. And when you're losing 3 guys at once, you do have to step it up and take care of it. So those who are starting your own companies and getting ready to get into it, get ready. Because guess what? You don't get to just go and say, hey, boss, I'm going to take this week off. And they say, oh, okay, that's fine. And then you get the week off. Not when you're an owner. You get to work, baby. There are rewards, don't worry. To that, but there's also a lot of work to it, so get ready. The other thing that you can always do if you don't want to be an owner and you don't want to work 24/7, you can actually go and find someone and partner up with someone, or you could always, be the right-hand man of somebody and just take on 5 days a week, 6 days a week, vacations whenever you want, good money. It's always out there. That's what I look for. That's what I have. And that's what we're, growing into. But, okay, so I decided. So today, what we're going to talk about is that episode I did already talk about. And it's the importance to education, okay, and where to find it. It's super important. On the educating part of things. One is because technology changes all the time. And not only technology changes all the time in this industry, which is crazy, but it's also, you got to remember, we're dealing with chemicals, okay? And when you deal with chemicals and harsh things like that, eventually someone is going to be looking for a way to make it obsolete. Okay, because it's harmful to the environment if it's wrongly used. If it's correctly, you're using it correctly, it's actually not as harmful for the environment, maybe not even at all. But when people see that, like pesticides in food, they are looking for a way to eliminate pesticides completely on the plant directly. Now, the great thing is rodenticides won't ever go away, and actually pesticide treatments won't ever go away, but on food, they will. And I do say that with confidence. They will eventually they will be obsolete when it comes to crops. That I do not doubt at all. when it comes to residential or even commercial, that actually I don't see ever going away. The only problem that we're going to run into in the future is the regulations on the chemicals. So what chemicals we can actually use. And the great thing is where there's a lot of money, and in this industry, we just shot up, I think like another billion something on the cap. And so now we're at like 4.9 or 5 something billion dollars in the industry, which is amazing. But where there's money, they will have innovation, and we'll see new products come out, and we'll see new things happen because there's money in it. And so where that money is flowing, that's where everything's going to go. So back to the importance of education is staying on top of what's happening in the industry. A lot of people think, whoa, I don't want to spend time looking at the news and blah, 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 and all the bad. It's not the news. It's your industry and what's happening now and currently, so you can prepare to change with the times. The company I purchased, they didn't change with the times. There was actually a new law that came out. There's a rodenticide that was banned, and they were still using it 5 months into the year that it was banned. That's a big no-no. And if there was a secondary kill or something happened and the ag department found out, they would have fined them fat. If not, would have shut them down. And so you'd have to stay in with the times, because what happens when something, and actually funny story, backing up just a little bit more, one of the guys went to go pick up rodenticide, and they found the rodenticide that they normally get, and it was just like a massive bulk sell, and it was super cheap, and they just bought a ton of it. And after I told them what's going on and everything, I looked at the trucks. I'm like, oh, no, you guys got to take this off now. Like, no more. Now you have to. It's got to be gone. He kind of, he told me it, and he's like, he laughed about it, and we were joking because, it didn't matter at that point. We got it before anything happened. All the bait stations have been changed and cleared since. So there is no old bait station with old bait. But, but he kind of laughed and was like, oh, well, that makes sense why all that was on sale at the time, because it was banned, and they had no idea it was banned. And so that's the importance of education. Education doesn't stop right there. Okay. And a lot of guys who break off of bigger companies or even smaller companies to start their own company, unfortunately, the small, super tiny companies never educated any of the technicians. So then when they become their own owner, they're still uneducated, and they follow in some of the old ways, which are actually wrong. And which I really shouldn't be talking about it, because I'm in the industry, right? I am a pest control technician. I own my own business, and telling people this is just going to help them out to change. But, there's better ways now, and you can find this information and the better ways pretty easily. And one is through this podcast. I've given out a ton of the information, new things that have been happening in California, not outside of California, but it's a big step. It's a big thing to actually stay up on what is changing and what new things are out there. Okay. There's a lot I want to say, and I don't want to say too much of it, but, and it's nothing no information, just about people and things. And I want to talk about it, but I won't, because I know that they'll listen eventually. But the importance, for the education is it keeps you up on the times. It's going to show you what new chemicals are coming out, what new products are coming out, everything that's coming out, which is then just going to open up possibilities for you in the future, just like I did. There was things that I learned through the Rodent Academy, which I don't even know if they're still doing. You know what? I'm going to look them up right now. So one is, online classes, of course. Everybody gets freaking emails and letters and everything. You can always do that. That's not bad. But a big one that, people don't know about is actually, some of these classes where you can go. So there's a Rodent Academy. They did it on the East Coast, and then they brought it over to the West Coast, and it was booming. It was great. I'm going to look them up real quick online. So Rodent Academy, and let's see if they're actually on here. Let's see. And of course, then you got all these freaking pest control companies doing their advertising, trying to, I don't know who's going to buy their pest control okay, look at this. Oh, look, West Coast Rodent Academy. Oh, they are so dumb. Why would they do that? Okay, dang it. That's too bad. So the West Coast Rodent Academy is set for November 6th to the 8th. Are they doing it? Let's see. It takes place at the University of California, South Coast Research and Extension Center. Okay, in Irvine, California. That's where we did it. Let's see. Is there a picture of me in there? Maybe there's not a picture of me. Okay, so if you put in Rodent Academy and you scroll down, you'll actually find PCT online. That is actually one of the sources I'm going to talk to you about finding the West Coast Academy. Oh, let's see. West Coast Academy set for November 6th. Let's see. This is October 7th, 2019. Oh, maybe it's not. Let's see the brochure. No, that's 2009. Oh, that's 2019. Okay, that's good, because let's see if they do it. God, there's got to be a way to find out if they do this somewhere else. Click here to register. Oh, here we go. Let's see. ucanr.edu is where it's sending me, or where it wants to send me, but it's not going to. Ooh, they may not do it. Oh, right here. Oh, it's a virtual. Come on, people. Okay, so it's the University of California Agriculture and Natural Resources. Cool. Okay. I didn't even know that, so I'm learning stuff now, which I should have known that, but I just didn't even think about looking or finding out. Okay, so that's cool. So this is actually a University of California. Universities are a big thing with pesticides, especially when it comes to agriculture, because they're studying it and they have ongoing studies with pesticides and things like that at local schools. So a lot of technicians, if you go online, I'm sure you could find a school that is studying pesticides or entomology or anything like that, where you could start using them as a resource. One, they probably want to collaborate with a lot of technicians, because we're out in the field, we're dealing with the bugs firsthand. They're sitting at a school not really doing much. I'm sure they leave and try to get what they can done, but I'm sure they would love to collaborate with a lot of us. So one thing with the education is go find a school, find a university. See, they're doing a West Coast, at the University of California. On the East Coast, I don't even know what the East Coast one is, but I'm sure it's a university on the East Coast. And then they have a bunch of representatives on the East Coast talking about rodents, and they go through everything. Squirrels, from the smallest mouse and all the little facts. And I went to that and it blew my mind, and I learned so much. I actually changed a lot because I was doing so much wrong. Now the knowledge that I have, and especially with the rodenticide law that came out, that's kind of cutting everything back in California, and watch out, it's going to start trickling over into other states if it already hasn't. But with that being said, they taught you what to look for. They taught you how to find holes, how to seal holes, different things like that. Then there was representatives from manufacturers who are making the products. They're talking about rodenticides, talking about the materials they have to cover up certain holes and do certain jobs. And you can pick their brain, you can get their phone number, you can do everything. So finding a university, finding what classes they have, the West Coast Rodent Academy, that was huge for me. That was a massive jump. And there was technicians all over the place there. And it was cool. I was partnered up. This guy doesn't even know. I was partnered up with somebody at Clark, which Clark just got bought out by Orkin, and now they're under the Rollins Corporation and everything, But this guy went through and he was throwing out his prices and things like that. So if you're a new guy, hey, and you're like, wow, how much should I really charge? Go to some of these classes. Some of these guys are just like, I don't know, in the company, here's this, here's that. And they just throw out all this information. And it's probably not anything, it's not secret or anything like that, but you can sit back and say, holy crap, I saved the sheet that the guy filled out. He actually wrote everything down. And I ended up taking it, and I used it for pricing, and I used it to help me figure stuff out. And this was 3-4 years ago when I did this. So when you're starting a company and you break off from an old company or everything like that, those are big things. Look at the pricing, look at all those little things that you may have not even thought of being a technician. A lot of techs don't know what to charge people. A lot of technicians don't know how to do rodent jobs or rodent exclusion work. They know how to spray and take down webs. Doesn't mean you're an owner. Just means you know how to do the job. You know how to do the work. You don't know how to do payroll. You don't know how to do taxes. You don't know how to order supplies, how many supplies you need before you overdo it or even under. Do you know how to route? Are you routing? Did you route in the past? So all that stuff coming from a previous employer or company or wherever you were, or going to one of these academies, is going to start teaching you these things. So the Rodent Academy was a really good one. Which then brings me into the PCT. Okay, PCT is a magazine. I talked to them in the previous episodes. If you haven't joined, they send out magazines every other month for free because it's advertising dollars for them, right? So they get all the manufacturers pay all their money, and then you get a free magazine every other month. Or you can download the app and you can get the magazine online for free every month. So PCT is a good one. And I think you can even go on PCT and look up articles and everything like that, or even possibly certain classes and academies and things. If you start going to these, they will start getting your information and your emails, and then you'll just get flooded with everything that you can think of. So now I don't even have to look that hard because they're just trying to make a buck. So they're just sending out all this crazy information all the time. 99% of it I delete. But there is some stuff that slips through the crack that actually is good. And then I jump on those classes, which I've had multiple times where I jump on the classes. Now, some of the $99, there's one out there that does it for like $99. And I've paid for, I think, 2 or 3 of them. And they absolutely suck. They're terrible, absolutely terrible classes. They just talk about nothing the whole time and don't give out any information. I had one guy on there who was from some other company, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, what do you do for this?" And he's like, "Well, you need to be prepared, and you need to have all the chemicals, and you need to have this and that." And he never actually would answer what he did or how he did things. He just kind of was like answering around it as if he was terrified to tell people, this is how we kill insects. This is how we actually take care of German cockroaches and bed bugs. This is how we do it. Oh, it was a bed bug class. That's what it was. And the guy just wouldn't answer anything. He wouldn't answer a thing. So some of those classes are good. Some of them are bad, like I said. When you get with the manufacturers, you actually, or even PhDs, masters, these guys who've been studying it, they'll give you all the information. They'll tell you exactly how to do it, what to do, everything. And then obviously other technicians, managers, people who show up to these classes, they love it. They'll just tell you everything you need to do. When you get into the business owner realm, they think they have some special sauce, that just like magically makes everything better. And in all reality, we all get the same products, guys. We can all get the same crap. It's just how you do it's a little bit different. And so be open with it. It's just kind of how about the industry. And, the great thing is once again, majority of the technicians are super lazy and they're not going to do the hard work anyway. They're just looking for the easy buck. And so they're not going to do the stuff that these other, your little secret sauce, you'll do it and you'll do it consistently. These guys won't. Even if they learn it, they won't do it. It's just how it is because no one's like you, right? Okay, so PCT is a big one. Definitely check that out. Make sure that you are following that. They come out with all sorts of stuff. Like I just got the top 100 from them in a magazine, and it talks about the top 100 companies that are out there, who went up, who went down, what's happening, who took over who. You get to see all that information, and it just helps you stay in with what's going on in the industry. if you plan on growing. If you don't plan on growing, don't look at that because it doesn't matter. Excuse me. Okay, another one is NPMA. I know they don't like me. I talked about it on the last episode, but they do Pest World. They do quite a few classes. There is one where you have to be a business owner and your business has to be doing at least $1 million to even show up. And I've never been to that. I will be going. And so I will let you know how that is. I'm going to give you all the little secrets because they keep that little thingy super secretive. But I'm going to let it all out because I don't care. And so I hope they don't hear this and then not allow me to go in. But I'll let you know because they only allow companies and owners that are doing over $1 million in gross revenue. So if you're a smaller company, you'll never be able to go. They won't ever let you go. They do ask for statements and things like that. So why they do this, I don't know. I'm still, I got to figure it out. But I'm going to go and I'm going to find out what's going on and how it all works. And I will be in touch. I actually got to find out when that one is. I think it's not till next year. Or it already happened or something like that. But with me being so busy, there's no way. So next year I plan on going, and that will definitely be put out there, and I will let everybody know what's going on. Because even distributors show up to that, and manufacturers show up to that one, and they want one-on-one sit-downs and all that. So I think there's a lot of sales going on, and they're trying to push certain products on guys who have decent-sized companies that they know will buy. And so I think it's another way for them just to get, find it. It's a money scheme, of course. Everything's about money. So that's how that works. But NPMA is a good one. Even if you join the association, the cool thing is they do have a lot of basic products on there. They say you have to follow it and all this crap, and they're going to audit you every so many years. BS. Okay. I've never been audited. And I've never followed their crap from this. And there's a lot of stuff on there that they say, and actually now I'm going to be audited and they're going to probably kick me out. But you can be part of the association and all that about best practices and all that crap that they put on there. And it's cool. Actually, I shouldn't say all that crap, I'm bad mouthing them. And that's part of, I'm all about being the best here, right? They have some really good practices, and they do give you a lot of good information. So if you're joining the association, pay your dues, and then you get, it opens it up, especially if you're a small company. It actually is a huge help because now it's going to start showing you some marketing stuff, very, very basic marketing stuff. They need to up some of it. Interviews, if you're hiring people, there's a lot of information. I was really into it in the beginning, and then I realized they were very, very generic and basic, but it was a really, really good stepping stone to get to what you are, what you're representing, what your mission is, right? And so it was good. I took their classes on NPMA green certified, I think it is. And it talks about, what to do, how to do things. And that was really good learning wise. And once again, years ago, and I actually talked to a technician about this. We were messaging back and forth on Instagram years ago. And the main reason why this is now what it is, DNA Pest Control Podcast, is I took over the company that I'm running now. And sorry to do a spinoff of education and how to find it, but this is actually very important. So when I first took over the business, I bought it from my brother-in-law, bought it 100% out, did not want him in with it at all because he had no idea what pest control was, how to do it, what to do, or anything. And that's fine because he had other businesses and it wasn't really his expertise. And he just looked at it as a cash cow, or he was hoping it would be a cash cow. And so he just flooded money into it to make a quick buck. Well, it didn't work that way because the industry doesn't work that way, right? Unless you have a ton of money to put into door-to-door sales. But eventually, unless you keep the door-to-door sales running, eventually what's going to happen is your people start falling off because there's companies out there that are better Okay, you got a salesman who's a quick talker that got him in to the service, but then those people are getting right back out of it within a year as fast as they can. And so that's a big issue. And then you better hope that you're hiring really good techs to save those people and keep them on. But one big company, and they're in the top 100, they do this, and we take a ton of their clients. So thank you for all the money you've paid your salesmen and pissing off your clients, because now we can pick them up and take care of them. But I was looking for help. I was looking to learn. One person I went to is cha-ching, my distributor, John Woodward from Geotech. Okay, I went to him, and actually, if he listens to this episode, John, guess what? Your competitor has tried to take me multiple times, and I hope you're feeling happy, and I hope you can go and sit down at dinner and talk about this. But I haven't switched, and there's a few reasons why I haven't switched, but a big one is because he was there from the beginning. He helped me. I pulled him in, and he wasn't. I know everyone thinks, well, distributor, they're just there to sell you products. They are. Absolutely. I'm sure at this time, that's all he was doing. That's all he was thinking. But he actually was I was a salesman, so I could pick up on sales cues. And he came in, and he was very sincere. He took time out of his day to come check everything out, tell me what I needed, what I didn't need. And actually, I didn't even buy anything from him. And I was buying so little, I'm sure I was just pennies on his paycheck. So it was really cool that he was willing to take the time and answer all my questions. And to this day, he still answers my texts. He still answers my calls. And now he's the manager over all the salesmen. So I'm sure, I don't know how the pay works anymore, but I don't even think he cares if I buy products, which is another cool thing. So now it doesn't even matter if I'm buying from him, because he probably doesn't even get a commission check off of me anymore. And he was at the time, which it was so small, I probably was nobody to him anyway then. So it all worked out really well. But he was there to answer a lot of my questions. He actually gave me some information to contact guys out of the state that had successful pest control companies, which I did call, and I did try to get information out. And they were so skeptical and so scared that they didn't want to give me any information. They didn't want to tell me anything. Everything was a big secret. No, you can't come out here. I was a 23-year-old kid that just got a pest control company. What am I going to do to you? You have 20, 30 technicians. Are you serious? You think I'm going to come in and be able to steal all your ideas? You have 20 people doing separate things all at once. How am I going to do that? Really think about the logic there. Like some inside secret, their special sauce, remember? They're like, I'm going to get that, and it's going to suddenly make my company explode, and I'm going to be their competition in Arizona. I was in California. I was in Sacramento. I had no plans or money to even move to Arizona. But oh no. They were terrified. So that died quick. So they never wanted to talk to me. There was really nobody willing to open their mouth when it comes into the industry. Everyone is very, very skeptical. So looking outside is really nice. NPMA helps you do that. PCT helps you do that. Another one, if you're local, you're in California, PCOC, Pest Control Operators of California, they actually hold meetings, they do things. So now you're getting a mix of multiple companies sitting into a meeting because it's Operators of California, right? So now you're sitting together talking as pest professionals. So you can get your ideas out there, you can mingle, and you can try to get as much information out of these guys as possible. They may not give you anything because there's that stigma there, but you can at least try and go. Another one, like I kept, in the story, a distributor in your local area is going to be a huge advocate for you. One, if you grow, they grow, right? So, so the more that you're doing, the more that you're going to buy, the more, more money they're making, more money you're making. So everyone's happy. So distributors want you to grow. They do want to help. Okay. And they do have phone numbers. If you have a good distributor, they will have phone numbers of people you can contact and get more information from. They also do a lot of things like classes. They hold classes, seminars, they do hours, they do a lot of training, and they'll know the laws in your area. That's another massive benefit, and they should know the laws on the products too, because they're selling them. Okay. So in the state of California, we have a lot of laws off of just the basic label, which a lot of people didn't know this. The company I purchased didn't know that you had to stop using Termidor after October 31st. So November 1st, you could no longer use Termidor, right? You had to stop in the rainy season. They didn't know that. So they kept using Termidor year round, or they would use pyrethroid granules in the wintertime and sprinkle them in areas where they probably shouldn't, because they never were taught the waterways law. So there's different laws and things that come out, just like the new rodenticide law. Those things come out that they're not on tests. They're not on basic training, which they should be. I actually didn't even know about the waterways law until I went to a class. And then I talked to John afterwards and I was like, what? There's a waterways law? And he's like, yeah, it's been out for like 4 years. I had no idea. No one ever told me about that law. And so I was spraying in areas that I shouldn't have been spraying. And then once I learned that, I was like, whoa, this needs to be blasted everywhere. This needs to be on the test. This needs to be handed out when you become a technician. Why is it a secret? And nobody talks about it. So joining NPMA is going to be a national, right? They're the National Pest Management Association. They're going to be over the nation. They're going to just give you a broad sense of everything. PCT is going to give you more. They're just they're the gossip girls of the industry. They're going to tell you what's going on, right? They're going to tell you what, so-and-so is doing because they just bought an electric car and you didn't even know about it, right? I don't care about freaking Joe Blow who just bought an electric car for his fleet. Okay. Tell me when he buys like 7 Ford F-150 electric trucks, then blast that on your magazine. But PCT has a ton of information on that. And then of course, what I'm looking at is what new products are out, what new equipment is out, because now I can add that to my service and make more money. Okay. PCOC, that's a local one. I'm sure every state has their own association. Pest Control Operators of California, your distributor. I talked a little bit about online classes. Obviously, majority of people take online classes for continuous education hours. But if you're looking to get into a new section of your industry, maybe online classes would be a huge help. The other one is books. There's a lot of books out there that I think also kind of go unnoticed. And I don't know who writes them either. I should probably do a little bit more research on that. I have a couple of their books. They're in the office. So anyway, a couple of their books is they do like the technician handbook guide or whatever for every technician. It's just general stuff about the B&G, about different stuff, your chemicals, your equipment, and it goes over little practices like that. And so there's actually quite a bit of books out there that you can get online that will teach you how to be a good technician and what to do. The other one kind of falls into some of the associations and things that they do is other technicians. Find other techs, find other people in the industry. I've created a Facebook page that is open to anybody in the industry. I don't care who you are, what you do in the industry. Just jump on, who you work for. It doesn't matter. Let's get on there, and it's open to everybody. Post a question, find out what's going on, have people answer. We're here to help each other out because in the end, it helps the industry out, right? And a lot of people are selfish and they think, no, this information's for me. No. Let it out to everybody, because there's still houses that don't want to ever have pest control because they don't know what we can do for them. So the more information that's out there, the safer technicians are becoming, the more likely everybody's going to start joining. Everybody will start signing up for pest control, which then creates that $5 billion market to 10 billion, to 12, to 20 billion. That's what we're trying to get it to. There's a massive market out there. We just haven't hit it yet. Not even all the warehouses and restaurants and everybody are on. Not all the apartment complexes are on pest control. Not all the houses are. So we have that opportunity. So share that with other technicians. Don't be closed. Be open with them. Talk to them. Obviously, if they're direct competitors in your area and you see them going directly at your clients, that's a big no-no. And that shouldn't necessarily, I know it's business, but if I'm helping you and you're hitting me directly, okay, sorry, it's getting cut off. I can't help you anymore. Because you're going directly at me and now you're attacking me and my family, and I can't do that. So be careful who you talk to, but there's so many technicians out there from all over the states. There's someone who will answer your question. And I've had plenty of people on the podcast that would answer your questions as well. And of course, the last one is the podcast. Okay, I hope this has been an educational experience, also a fun experience. But that's the reason why I'm doing it, is I want to be able to educate everybody. I want to throw this out to allow people to grow their knowledge and grow what they have already, and just keep stacking that knowledge on top of another. And I hope that some of these episodes you guys went back to and you're like, man, I've been doing it that way and that's not the right way. Because I've had those moments, and I keep having those moments as I start taking these classes and I start doing these, now that everything's opening back up, I'll be jumping back into all of these classes that are just going to make me sit back and say, man, I should have done this. I should have done that. I didn't do that. Why didn't I think of that? That's so obvious. Or even some of the new equipment that's out there that's amazing, that will change your life for the better. And I'm actually going to be doing a few episodes on some of the new products that I've got my hands on, especially some of the electric backpack sprayers. I have my hands on the B&G electric top that I'm going to talk about. I don't even know the proper name for it. But I'm going to go through these product reviews with you guys, and I'm going to let you know what I think of each and every one, and just keep you up to date on some of this stuff. So if you're not involved with any of these other magazines or associations or anything like that, you may be too small. You don't want to pay $600 because that just hurts too bad. That's fine. I'll give you this information. I'll throw it out there. I'll talk about these new products. I'll talk about everything out there so that you hopefully can grow your business and get to the point where you can start doing it, and you can start teaching your technicians what's going on and what's changing and what's the best method to take care of certain things. All right. That sums it up for this episode on the importance to education and where to find it. All right, so you know where to find me on Instagram. DM me. I will be responding when I can, and that is DNA Pest Podcast. Okay, so just at DNA Pest Podcast. You can send me an email at dnapestpodcast@gmail.com. This is also going to be attached to the episode, so you can see it at the bottom, or you can go to the website, and there's multiple areas you can go and send emails to us. But that is dnapestpodcast.com, okay? Also, I still have hats. I've been trying to get rid of these things. And so just email me. I'll send you a free hat. And no, I don't blow your email up with a bunch of stupid stuff. Ask all the other people who've gotten hats. So send me an email. I'll send you free swag. Just let me know, okay? All right, thanks for listening to another episode of the DNA Pest Control Podcast.